let's take a closer look at the U.S. president's push for net neutrality. Barack Obama has voiced support for it in the past, and now the White House is calling on the U.S. Federal Communications Commission to protect that founding principle of the Internet. Now, we have been following this battle for quite some time here on Newsstream, but let's remind you what it's all about. Net neutrality means that everyone has equal access to every website. Now, imagine the Internet as the information superhighway. Now, the FCC is moving ahead with a plan that could give some companies priority access, which is frequently compared to a fast lane. And remember, the plan rules only cover broadband and not mobile Internet use. Let's get more now from our regular tech contributor, Nicholas Thompson. Of course, he's the editor of TheNewYorker.com. He joins us now live. Nick, good to see you. And why? Now, why did President Obama make this bold statement in support of net neutrality?
Well, it's hard to know exactly why Obama did it now, but what's going on is that the FCC is coming up with rules. So they've been accepting public comment, and there have been millions of comments, crashed the servers of the FCC. People have been writing in saying, this is what you need to do. And as this debate has been going on, Obama has stood back. And he's sort of waited, and he's let the FCC think and ponder. And then suddenly yesterday, he came out and said, you know what, I've had enough. No more compromising, no more looking for a middle ground. What I really want you to do is to go full throttle in favor of net neutrality, and in fact, I want you to change the whole regulatory framework for the way the telecom companies are regulated in order to protect net neutrality. So he came down in the biggest, hardest, most vehement way. Why did it happen right now? It is a moment of public comment. It is a moment when people are weighing in. It's after an election. This is a contentious issue. Maybe he wanted to wait for that. And then I think the other reason he came down now is that it's right. I mean, I think he genuinely believes deep down, and his advisors and the people around him believe that this is the best thing for America's economy and the best thing for helping small technology companies grow.
You know, even back in 2007, Obama called himself a strong supporter for net neutrality. But after making this bold statement, what will the FCC do? Will it act to protect an open Internet?
Well, this is a hard thing, right? The FCC doesn't have to do what Obama says. He is the president, but he can't just fire the chairman. So the chairman could continue down his current path of looking for a middle ground and compromising with the telecom companies. Or what's more likely is the FCC will either agree with Obama, change the regulatory framework to protect net neutrality, or he'll use this as leverage with the telecom companies. What's happening right now in Washington is the telecom companies are extremely powerful. They give lots of money to a lot of congressmen. They have a lot of influence. They have great lobbyists. They're really working the FCC. They've been demanding a lot. Now that Obama has put the stake in the ground, the chairman of the FCC has a lot more leverage. And so you may actually find a compromise that isn't all the way to what Obama just insisted on, but that's much, much closer than the middle point of the compromise had Obama not done what he did yesterday.
And finally, what does Obama's bold push for net neutrality mean for the future of the Internet?
Well, I think it makes the future of the Internet more promising. I mean, there is a very scary proposition that, as you say, the Internet will be arranged into a whole bunch of toll lanes, and so it'll become much more confusing. If you're a startup and you want to get into a business, you won't have to just think about how good your product is. You'll have to think about whether it's really possible to get access on Comcast, or can you really, get access on this provider? Maybe not, so maybe I shouldn't do this. It will make it much more open, much more free. What Obama has essentially said is that the Internet should be regulated the way electricity is regulated. You turn on a light switch and electricity flows. You can do whatever you want with that electricity. He's saying you can do whatever you want with the Internet. You can build anything, you can look at anything, and the providers just have to provide the pipes that let the bits flow. And I think you'll see a lot more innovation, and I think you'll see a lot more small companies, and I think it will actually be a lot better for people.